start off, I heard the word sexy before I even got here. But I'm not sure if it was about me. Inside joke. Hey, welcome to Can TV Live with your hostess with the mostest, Sista Yaa. I'm here representing Tacts, the Association of Clinical Trial Services, and I am your community, or as I would say, your favorite community epidemiologist. We represent Tacts, the Association of Clinical Trial Services, and if you can tell what that red, black, and green means, we bringing people together, and that's what we like to work on and talk about, bringing people together. One of the things that I'm always interested in is how we deal with clinical trials research. I'm always talking about this. This is just some of the people that have worked with us, giving those people a shout out, and making sure that we know what we're doing with clinical trials research and who we are partnering with. But you know what Tacts' message is all about. I do this for every single one of our 12, and today is our last show for the year, but we always are going to talk about health equity, and we're going to talk about it in the way that it brings us closer to what this means and why we want it. We want health equity because we want to get the bikes that work for us, the best need possible to get what you need done. So if that means you get better bikes that fit you better, then that's the bike you use to ride to better health. And I really like that concept of using the types of bikes that fit you the right way. You've seen apples, you've seen boxes, but the bike example I think is the best one. Realistically, we are leading ourselves toward what we calling health liberty, which is what I prefer more of. When I say liberty, I mean liberation. We had a big talk about the difference between liberation and liberty, but my point being is that we are moving from just literacy to liberation, and I'm loving that. From just what we call literacy to liberation, that particular tool is something that I really want to push more next year. I'm definitely going to be moving equity into liberation, moving health literacy to health liberation. And that's going to be what I talk about with the people, is moving from health literacy, health equity, leading to liberation. And what does all of that really mean is we need to find a way to liberate ourselves and to be better health practitioners as much as possible, even inside of all of what it is that we deal with. And we're going to deal with a topic today that is so political, but at the same time is so social to everyone. And that is food. What foods are you eating? And do you eat for taste, nutrition, or both? And now you're probably saying, why is she asking that question? Everybody eats. And guess what? On my way over here, getting my car to get here, it's hard getting here from downtown. They had a box of cookies out. Now, one lady, the attendant was like, oh, help yourself to the cookies. One lady was like, oh, that's so much sweet. I had sweets all day at work. I snacked all day at work. It's too much. And then another lady came and she was like, oh, those cookies look like they don't have any sugar in it. They look sugar-free. They don't look like they're sweet at all. And then I'm there going, I don't even want cookies. I don't know where they came from, and plus, why do I want cookies? But here it is that I'm here talking about what foods are you eating. You know, just having cookies sitting out on a table is a conversation starter, honey. Just even having anything about food with people is how we what? How we socialize, how we relate. And if you relate to this type of concept, you can always call me at 312-738-1060, as we are Can TV Live. But we do have the shows taped, and you see them on YouTube as you can get as they come out. But when we talk about food, it is such an individual, family, group, community, social, national, international concept. It's so international. Food is such an international construct that is not only about the individual, it's about the globe. It's about the world. Food is fundamental, and it goes from personal to politics. All the P's are in it, honey, including pleasure. Y'all saw 9.5 weeks. Okay, I regress. But the point being is food is international. Food is about the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. I know you're like, what? Now, this was a group that was created to provide policymakers, those people in so-called White House or what have you, with regular scientific, which is my word, assessments on climate change, its implications, the potential future risk, as well as to put forward an adaptation or mitigating options. You can go to their website and look them up, IPCC. I just Google it. It will come up. It's in the news. And the reason that this is important is because this particular policy group, or this group of people who are working on climate change, looks at climate change and how it is impacting our food production. Everybody on this planet needs to eat. Every human, every sentinel being, anything that has oxygen and has those 6 elements that we are all combined with, including nitrogen and hydrogen and oxygen and phosphorus, and I'm forgetting one of my others, and carbon. Everything but helium. But the point being is we all need the substance, and we get our substance, if you will, through our foods. And this is why the climate change people were so intent about talking about food. The panel stated that reductions in the demand for animal-based food products and increasing what? Proportions of what? Plant-based foods in our diets, particularly beans and nuts, are ways to what? Adapt. In addition to the National Academy for Nutrition and Dietitians, they noted that plant-based diets are linked to what? Healthier body weights and reducing risk for heart attack, disease, and other chronic illnesses. There are many types of plant-based diets, ranging from having no meat to some meat. A healthy plant-based diet highlights the eating heart-healthy facts, and they're looking at our fats, our plants as proteins, our sources in high fibers for consumptions, and plant-based foods are things to consider. So what am I asking you to do? It says it here. I'm asking you to make a plan, honey. Make a plan about how you eat, what you're eating. My question to you was the foods that you eat. And do you eat for taste, nutrition, or both? And I'm going to offer eat for both. We should be eating for nutrition, because this is our fuel. Like even coming over here, I needed fuel. Like gas in a car, it needs fuel. We need fuel to go. But regulations of those fuels, regulations of those nutritions and other things and other nutrients, if you will, minerals. I'm just learning about what they're calling sea moss and things with minerals in it. How are we getting and ingesting that in our bodies? And I'm one to go as far as to say food isn't your only diet, but today we're focusing on solutions we can work towards to address better eating practices. And that particular organization really did think about it as it relates to climate change. Now, I want to get you back in on this because the real reason that they were talking about it as climate change was because of food production, especially animal-based food productions, are having such an impact on the planet because it costs so much of the pollution. It takes so much energy, if you will, to produce meat, dairy, work with the products like eggs. It's the water that it requires just to even feed the cows. And these are animals that don't eat meat, by the way. So we're eating them to get what? Because they're eating what to get them? They actually eat plant-based diets, grass. And we're eating them to get what? Protein? They're not getting their protein from an animal, so why should you? Something to think about. I am a proponent and practitioner of less animal-based food eating. I haven't practice eating animal-based food, or I should say clearly meat specifically, for the past 30 years, and for the past few years I haven't eating eggs as breaking an egg open and cracking and eating it. And I am now starting to give more consideration to a plant-based diet. And some people are using the term veganism. I am in between that. I'm calling myself a selective eater. I select to eat what I want when I want. But I'm also thinking about not just eating from taste, but eating for nutrition, eating to have a better health outcome. And a better health outcome can also be an impact on a better climate outcome. Now, I'm very clear, one person is not going to help change the climate, but many of us together can, or we can actually have an impact on the climate, which is what we have been doing as humans living on this planet. So to say that one person can change it, I'm not saying that. But I am saying, scientifically speaking, many people in groups can change it. And I do applaud the global community for having this as a talking point, as an adaptation. That they said clearly, and I'll show it to you again. They said clearly, right here it says, ranging from having no meat to some meat. So we're not, for you meat eaters, telling you completely to divulge of your carnivorous, carnivorous, I should say, approaches to meat. Did I get it right, Mr. Patton? Carnivorous. Get it right, get it tight. We're not saying that, because Mr. Patton ain't trying to hear it either. And he's the people's counselor. But he eat him some chicken, honey. And I get it. I don't think chicken is bad. I just went through a diet adjustments for spiritual reasons, for a reason to commune to that which I think created the sun, that which created me, to have a better communal relationship. That's not everybody's plight, nor should it be your way. It's my way. But I have used that as a means for what I'm considering selecting the foods that I put inside this, we call it a temple, and how we are manifesting our spiritual practice. And food is one of those ways that if you were being trained for priesthood, or I'm going to stick to what I know, a priestesshood, right, which is what I was being trained for, we had to change the way we eat. Diet wasn't just about food. It was also about the heart. It was about the mind. It was about what you ingest around you in your environment. And 30 years of doing this, I have found it to be I would say it probably has saved my life in more ways than one, but I still need to do better. As much as I have done, I still need to do better, because I too face a condition, a chronic illness that I have to always deal with for the rest of my life. But I'm thinking if I ate more meat, it would be probably worse. So I'm thankful that I have been able to maintain a meatless diet, but now I'm also looking at me going, guess what? I can do better. I can pull back on the cheeses. I can pull back, which, honey, I love me some cheese. But I can look at mitigating some of that. And guess what? That's why I started this whole thing off with, what are you thinking about? What are your substitutes? So that's something that we can think on, is what are our substitutes for food? You know, we say, what is food? You know, what foods are you eating? I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know either. Because even with plant-based diet, plant-based eating, as much as they're saying that, they're also not explaining what's in those foods. I had chocolate pudding, but it was made from almonds. And one of my favorites is, we call it the Big Mama Burger. It's really a plant-based burger from the people that's been promoting this meatless food. And I'm going, what's in this food? Because it's lab-based food. And my girlfriend was just like, why are you even eating that at all when you say you don't eat meat? Just don't eat no meat. But I'm looking at her like, you're not going to stop eating your meat. You want something to eat. And plus, guess what? I be hungry. I need food. So what are we really eating? What is considered food? And is the lab the best place to make it? These are the kind of things that I think Tacts needs to work on. We need to bring this to the forefront. First of all, defining understanding food and how it's processed, how it's made, how it's delivered, how natural are their ingredients, and what other things that we're not doing. Sea moss being one. Nutritional yeast is never brought up. What is polenta? It's a type of grain that we don't really talk about a lot, but it's a grain that actually is even as good, if not better, than that of rice. So there are different types of things out here that we're not taking advantage of, and Tacts, the Association of Clinical Trial Services, wants to make sure that we do that. Again, I'm just bringing up some things as solutions to what we can do, but for more information, you can contact us on Facebook with Tacts Us. I'm going to get better at getting our website more up to date. You got the People's Counselor, whose number is right there, our Vice President. And I want to thank you for taking the time out, even if you're seeing this on the reruns on YouTube. And we're going to get better at this next year, right? This is our last show for the year. I want to thank CAN TV for allowing us to have the opportunity to share these types of information, to give me the platform that is different from just social media, but addition to social media. So we want to probably next year think about how we can infuse more CAN TV viewing into our YouTube and other social media platforms. But I want to thank you all for those who've been with us for the year. I look forward to next year. We'll see how much better we do and what other topics that we can be taking place. But you can rest assured, honey, it's going to have to do with some health equity. And if I have anything to do with it, we're going to get more into what that looks like, how to measure it, how to explain it, define it, and then more importantly, what did I say? How to live it. I just want to thank everyone, and we're going to do our best to do what we can to do better as we live forward. Power to the people. Power to that which has given us life, and power to empower you. My name is Sista Yaa, and I am your community epidemiologist, your favorite epidemiologist, right? You probably like, who else is one? But you met one today, and look at CAN TV in the future for us in January. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.